So what's on the cards for the weekend, Eric?
I got a big group ride tomorrow.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
And then, we always do pizza. We always do pizza on the weekend, so I always look forward to the pizza post ride.
Okay.
Gotta replenish all the carbs and everything. So, that's about it.
And pizza's the best for that, is it?
For me, yes, absolutely.
Are these store bought or are they homemade?
A little bit of both. So you don't care about this, but I'm partially Italian. I got some Italian roots. So growing up, my mom always made a lot of Italian from scratch. So I have managed in my own adult life to make crust from scratch. Not yet the sauce. So
okay.
We're kind of halfway there. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I have a lot of fun with that.
Is that something you're working towards, or just a bit of a hobby?
Nah, just a hobby. I just enjoy it. Just love pizza. Man, I work with youth. I work with youth for a living, so I eat a great deal of pizza. Let me tell you.
Yeah. And so, just to confirm, we have stopped streaming. So, tell us a bit. I didn't want to sort of go into that too much, but tell us a bit about your experiences there. So, is being a pastor something that you've wanted to do, or you sort of just found yourself getting into, or?
No, really good question. So, all growing up from birth until just a few years ago, my dad was a pastor of a church. So, specifically the senior pastor, like that's the head guy. Me in my current role, I'm not the head guy. I work with the youth and young adults of my church. So it's a little bit different, but very much the same. So, did I always want to do it? No, absolutely not. But it's a spiritual calling that the Lord has called me to. So just me being faithful to that. No, quite honestly, I wanted to be an actor in movies and stuff. And I mean, I had my life planned out, and God introduced some other plans for me for my life. So I've been following them, and it's led me to a lot of things that are far better than I could have planned for myself. Very different than I would have planned for myself, but definitely better than I would have planned. So.
And so, I mean, it seems quite foreign to me and probably most people in the UK to have like a full-time pastor or like a. So what is it? Is it like education? What do you do like all the time?
Yeah, no, good question as well. So a lot of it is. It might not be all the time, but I do funerals, as you know. I do weddings, premarital counseling. So I'm not like a licensed counselor, but I do counsel, and I do meet with students one-on-one going through some difficulties, some problems at home, at school, whatever. Kind of walk them through it. I have a team of adult volunteers who help out with me. So in a week we have Sunday night youth group, and we'll have about 45-50 students show up on a Sunday night. We'll do kind of like church, but for young people. So we'll do a few songs. I'll teach a lesson, and we'll break out into small groups. We'll play a game. We sell candy. We play frisbee, all kinds of fun stuff. So it's all about building relationships and having some authentic connections with students. So a lot of it is preparation. This summer we're going on some week-long trips. They'll take the junior high students to a summer camp, the senior high students to a mission trip. So a lot of legwork, a lot of event planning, a lot of meeting with people, things like that.
Oh man, it must be so cool. I mean, I know that I'm not a religious man, but to have someone or to have a group like that where you've got someone to look up to and talk to and have a relationship with, and who's doing okay in life, and who's obviously you're not you seem to be very youthful yourself, and you're into the kind of things that kids would be into, and it just must be great for them.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I do have, I don't get the opportunity very often to speak in big church, as I call it, to the adults, but I do have a few sermons on my channel. If you are curious to,
I have actually
ever listen to it, kind of shameless plug, or if you feel you and I have a different connection because you know me a little bit better opposed to Joe Schmo. yeah, feel free to check them out. Feel free to message me any questions you may have. I know it can be daunting or embarrassing or.
Well, speaking of movies, what movies would you have done if you had the choice?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Because I did like stage theater in high school, stage acting, and I absolutely loved it. I've never done a movie before or anything even remotely close, but that was kind of the dream for my young high school self for sure. So
yeah. Well, certainly the voiceovers you do, if that's anything to go by, it's quite good. Like your videos are really watchable and compelling. So I certainly, if you'd gone down that path, I think you would have done pretty well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's a big thing of YouTube. I think you guys have done that well. You know how this goes. You try to find something that no one has done yet. And I don't enjoy long form videos. I believe you guys were talking about it last week. I think, Rob, you said, you miss a lot when you don't have the long form videos. I don't enjoy the long form videos personally because I know the routes and I don't want to watch the flat bits. I want to watch, how do you finish the Alp? And so I want to take that hour and a half video and condense it into 15 minutes or less. And sometimes that's a tremendous challenge or even doing the race. And as I'm riding, I'm thinking, what is the story in this? Is it just I completed it, here it is? Well, that's boring. No one wants to just watch that. So what is the story? Is there someone you're trying to chase down? So I'm always trying to think about it like that. And Eric Lee, his video, they're all long form, but he also does a lot of talking throughout them.
Yeah, I don't know how he does that.
I've tried that, and I realized I just zone out.
Yeah.
And because I'm in a room by myself, just pedaling my brain, and like I just not only that, I realized I do a thing where I have a full blown conversation with myself in my head, and then some of it I start talking out loud. I'm like, I can't even put this in there. I can't just start saying that right now.
Yeah, so. I can't remember if it was you or Cadman, but I always say to people want to know how you feel. People want to know what you're thinking. Yeah. Oh, hello.
Morning, Sharon.
Hey.
This is Sharon.
How you doing?
Hi.
That's Eric, and you know the other two.
Yeah.
Sharon.
Now,
sorry.
what's that sort of breakfast? Hey,
Hang on.
he's not going to be burning that off. Take away the waffle and just leave him the strawberries.
Not easily. There we go.
Oh, that looks quality.
That is
my wife. I've been married for 15 years, and I've never had a breakfast that good.
Yeah.
See ya.
Ultimate goal, Eric, to be head pastor like that, or would that be like the end point?
Personally, no. Not right now, anyways. I'm only 29 years old, so I'm still pretty young, even for a role like that, to be honest. And honestly, the more I'm in youth ministry, I feel like I'm just now starting to get good at it, to be honest. I was joking with my leaders the other week. Is like, when you start out, it's chapter 1, it's figuring this thing out. Chapter 2 was figured out during COVID. Chapter 3 was figured out post-COVID. And now it's like, okay, chapter 4, let's figure it out and then do it right. So, always learning for sure.
If I can ask, and please let me know if it's a bit not appropriate. Some of the problems that you find, some of the kids and students in your area that you sort of counsel, some of the problems they're facing, what do they tend to be? Are they sort of varied, or is it is much of it to do with the economy of America and jobs, or is there any particular theme that you sort of tend to see with some of the students?
No, that's a fair question. Yeah, I can answer that just fine. In this county of Ohio, particularly, there is a lot of drug and alcohol abuse.
Okay, yep.
A lot of it. There's a lot of students living with grandma and grandpa, aunts, uncles. Mom is hooked on something, dad's in jail, and it's heartbreaking to see. It really is. That is a good amount of students. But so some of the problems are just mom and dad not seeing eye to eye, or the student and the parents kind of butting heads, some obedience kind of issues, and some wanting more freedom. We've all been there. We want more freedoms, and we want to grow up and be more mature. Mom, dad treat us like a baby, things like that. There's a lot of issues. That's some like run of the mill kind of stuff, but
but it's not nothing, is it? That is not nothing. When you're that age. I mean, my boy's 14 now, and I hated being 14. It was just all your hormones and you're trying to find your place in the world, and just not a nice time.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's good bits to it, but it's just a bloody hard time.
Turmoil,
and that's a very real thing. I always tell my students, you're all in a time where your brain is plugging into your body, so you're having different thoughts, you're feeling different emotions. That's all part of growing up, but how to handle that and how to react, and still practice self-control, still treat each other well and respectfully and kindly. It's
And so, in doing what you do now, have you gone through and done any particular psychology training, or is that part of, I guess I don't know the correct word for it. So when you go to university and you learn how to be a pastor, I guess, I'm assuming, is that psychologist aspect to it, is that included? Do they sort of help train you for how to deal with that sort of thing?
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. I did go to school for this, specifically youth ministry is actually my degree.
Yep.
And in that, it's event planning, how to plan a 5-night trip at a camp or whatever, how to feed 300 people, how to feed and plan an event for 50 people, things like that.
Was it like 5 loaves and 7 fish or something like that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you are a religious man, Rob. Don't cut yourself short. No, and of course, in addition, it's how to write a sermon, how to navigate church politics, things like that. But there's some adolescent psychology courses you take as well, in addition. So all fair questions, and I want to be an open book with you guys. Feel free to ask me anything.
Well, I mean, I should say I'm still recording. We're not streaming. I'm still recording. So have we touched on anything here, Eric, that you wouldn't want me to crop together into an interview segment with you?
No, I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll get it together, and then
preview.
I'll send it through for you to have a look at, and then you let me know whether that's something you're happy with or not happy with, and then we can edit that if you want, if that's okay.
Certainly.
What does your wife do?
She's a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, okay.
So no, we do not have any kids. Let me answer your next question.
Not yet.
Well, I would have thought that seeing kindergartners running around and hormonal teenagers, it would be that's the best kind of what do you call it?
Birth control.
That's it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, absolutely. So.
Yeah, no, we've all got kids, so yeah.
Give your kid to Swift or racing bike. Have you got any of the kids that you work with onto Swift or racing or riding bikes?
No, not quite. I think maybe, as we all know, sometimes cycling is hard to get into. I do have some stud athlete kids, though, let me tell you. Some of them are going to college for baseball. I've had a couple cross-country runners. And every summer, there's one student in particular. I own multiple bikes, so I'll loan him one of the bikes, and we'll go for 15 miles, something like that. But just to do a little bit. But yeah.
And what's this thing with Ohio? That my teenage kid, he says, like, he's always talking about Ohio, like as if crazy things happen in Ohio. Is that a meme or something, that Ohio is a crazy state?
Yes, I don't know where it originated from. I think there's a song. The lyrics are "down in Ohio," like "down" being a bad and a derogatory something. So Ohio's gotten the bad rap for a long time, as far as trapped in Ohio, or people say stuck in Ohio. There's not a whole lot to do, which I disagree with entirely. We do have a national park. We do have a Great Lake. We do have a variety of geography. We have cornfields, we have some hilly areas, some flat areas, good cities, decent sport teams.
I mean, yeah, it seems like a great place from what I've seen.
People love to complain, let's be honest.
Is it the state that most regularly decides the US presidential election or something like that? It's like because it's got quite a lot of votes and it's a bit of a swing state. Is that? I think that might be.
Yes, maybe. I don't pay too much attention to politics, to be honest. I go for the religion side of things, really.
Yeah.
I remember reading there's a portion of Americans who believe that Ohio isn't real. Just want to put that out there. Yep, that don't believe it's an actual state. So
could be.
I think a lot of these, Americans are stupid kind of false facts going around.
Yeah. Oh, all the ones we've met have been pretty good. They ride bikes. They're on YouTube. Do any of the kids that you sort of counsel on that? Do they know you've got YouTube channels?
Yeah. I some of them are subscribed. I don't think it really piques their interest a whole lot. But some of them will joke with me and be like, "Oh, Pastor Eric, make sure at the end of your lesson tonight you say like, comment, and subscribe," or things like that. And, it's funny. It is good. It's good that they do. So
yeah. No, that's incredible. Hey, all right, guys. Well, I've got to wrap this up. Thanks very much. That was me.
I've got a race in 6 hours.
Yep. Which attempt is this?
Attempt number 7. The final
chapter.
Attempt. Well, anyway, I hope I lose. I hope this whole bloody streak comes to an end. But whilst it's going, I'm going to give it my all.
Oh, sorry. I do hope you win because I love you. You're a great guy. I kind of hope you lose as well because it's going to be funny as fuck when I talk about it next week.
I hope I do too. I sort of hope I do as well.
It'll be the most rated video on his channel.
All right, guys. We'll wrap it up there.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thanks ever so much, Eric. Really, really enjoyed talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. If you ever want me again, let me know. I'll be happy to jump on.
You're definitely on our repeat offender list, so that we'll get you back on for sure.